What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here again. It is week 8. We're finishing up week 8, recapping, and also going on to our best bets for Sports Equinox Day today. We got every sport. I think 4 sports going today. We got, hockey, NBA, MLB, and Monday Night Football. So join as always by my guys, Stu. How you doing, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, can't complain when you got this many sports on, right? I mean, it's one of those days as sports fans, as, degens a little bit as well. We like the action. We like all the games. We like all the opportunities. A lot of chances to make money tonight. And that's kind of a good thing. At first, I was really hating on them. Steelers, Giants, primetime football game. Are you serious? Now I'm thinking this could have been kind of strategic. Sports Equinox, MLB playoff game. Maybe they were seeing that schedule and going, let's give the worst primetime game of the season right here. So maybe it was actually kind of smart. Maybe they were giving us a chance to see a great MLB playoff game. Who knows? But what I do know is we've had some shitty games before, and I feel like we've had a lot more success in those games. Like just point blank. Like these ugliest games of the season have been like some of the most memorable shows so far. So at first I was a little worried, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We got some good stuff today, and I do really like my play, even despite a very ugly game.
You might have to shoot that to me in the chat for what your line is for that, because I don't have that. I think we said it on the phone, but I don't remember the exact line. But we'll let some people trickle in here. We got 15 people in here so far, a couple minutes in. Anything you want to start off about here on week 8? Obviously, both of our teams get W's again. A little sweaty on both ends, but yeah, man, what a week for both of our teams.
I think you know where I want to start off. I mean, holy shit, Commanders win of the season, win of the century, baby. That was exciting. That Hail Mary tip pass, obviously, you'd have to live under a rock to not seen that by now. I was out, so I was at a bar catching up with a friend, just a small little place. You would have thought it was like a World Cup celebration party, the way that place reacted when that went down. It was insane. And for me, the icing on the cake was I actually didn't even see the clip of Stevenson, the defender.
Oh yeah, that made it hilarious, bro.
Until 2 hours later. So I was still so fired up about the Hail Mary, about the win, that then 2 hours later, I see this absolute moron on the Bears chirping fans, arguing people in the stands, not paying attention at all. He ends up going and tipping the ball. The guy he was supposed to be marking, apparently, is the guy that catches the pass wide open by himself, nobody around him. So it was just the perfect ending. I mean, obviously, Commanders should have won that game dominantly. If you watched it, they were just awful in the red zone. They couldn't get a single thing going. It kind of reminded me of that Giants game earlier this year where they kept making it to the red zone and then just nothing afterwards. So that was disappointing, obviously. They should have kicked the Bears' ass. The Bears' offense is real bad. Like, the defense is solid, but the offense is real bad. And I don't think that's something that's going to change for a little bit, unfortunately. I was a little hopeful on Caleb Williams, but we've talked about it plenty. The Commanders' defense is not good. Making the Commanders' defense look good is a problem on you. That's a you problem, right? We can't spread the blame here. That defense is down like half the starters from where it started, and wasn't in a good place to begin with. So I don't know, man. It was a fun game. The Commanders got lucky, no doubt about it, but I don't really feel like it was a gimmicky win because we should have destroyed them in the first place. Like, we obviously got handed a gift at the end, but it's not a gimmicky win when the other team really shouldn't have ever been in that place to begin with. So I was fired up. Great game. Fantastic ending. The vibes are changing in DC, man. We got a new quarterback. We got a legit quarterback. You're not out of any game now. Even 25 seconds left, one timeout, you're not out of any game. So I'm feeling good.
Yeah, no, I thought that was hilarious that guy was talking shit. I mean, It was – I guess, like, what's weird to me, too, is just, like, we see Caleb Williams in these close games now, and he fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line or 2-yard line. That was obviously huge. That's why, like, I just can't get over the fact that also Washington allowed 130 yards to DeAndre Swift. Like, everybody was wanting this dude's head, bro, like 3 weeks ago, that he sucks. And I'm like, well, I just don't get it, because I did do a look ahead already to week 9. And with all this shit going on, we have the fucking Giants. They're only 3-point dogs next week. Can you believe that? The Giants being a 3-point dog right now. I'm expecting heavy steam on the Commanders, but it's just – that's crazy to me. Like, with everything like that's happening with this team, both sides. Like, obviously the positive side for the Commanders, negative side for the Giants. I'm sure it'll be negative again tonight. I'm curious where that line ends up. like by the start kickoff, because something's just weird with that one. So we'll talk about that next week. But obviously, my biggest thing in Packers getting the dub this week. I'm a little nervous again about Jordan Love getting hurt again. The dude's he's just a crazy man. He's just running around everywhere. And we can't have it happen right before this Lions game, bro, because that Lions game is going to be a fucking wreck if I have to watch Malik Willis try to run fucking option against this front seven. Like, you need everybody, dude. If Jordan Love plays, I'm throwing a fucking mammoth hammer on his fucking passing yards because that Lions defense, bro, just asked for it. I almost took down a GPP this weekend. I was telling Stu, and would have been huge. But guess who my mainstay was at 4%? I had a 2% on Saquon Barkley. Guess who was my other sub 10% guy outside of my defense?
What position?
Receiver.
I don't know. Let's see. Were you a Jaden Reed guy this week?
No, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't do much. No, I'm in that game that I'm talking about with the Lions.
The Lions-Titans game? Did you have Khalif Raymond? I wish
I played Calvin Ridley at 4% ownership, and dude went bonkers. These guys can't stop anybody. They can't stop anybody. They do make big plays, though. That's the thing, is their defense is very kind of like the Packers, where they're going to give up a fuckload of yards, but they turn you over. And they make big plays when you need to, right? And that's kind of where those guys are kind of similar. Obviously, McKinney gets another pick for us. Dude's on another level, bro. So I really don't even know what to say about the guy anymore. What's he got, 6? He's got 6 picks already, bro.
I was going to say, what's this guy's odds for Defensive Player of the Year at this point?
Nobody talks about him either, bro. No, I haven't heard shit.
Like, there's no way, after today, there's no way that's not the best offseason acquisition out of any team in the league, right? I mean, what he's doing, he's like single-handedly changed that defense in the sense of he's forcing a turnover per game, which is insane. Because like you said, the defense itself,
it's okay. It's not great. It's not great.
they have some bad moments, some bad tackling moments in particular. But man, I don't know. It's one of those things when you look at it. Woo, I'm excited. Next week's going to be a fun game. That's going to be a fun game. Hey, if Malik Willis is ending up starting rushing yards, we got to play it. Just trust me. Got to play it.
If Malik Willis starts, I will probably take the Lions heavy, bro. Even in Lambeau is going to be rocking for that one, but fuck, dude. It can't be Malik Willis, bro. I don't care what you got to give to him, bro. Give him something. Get him ready to play. But, all right, let's get to our recap. We got 35 of you guys in here ready to go for tonight. Talking about Jordan Love, obviously, you get the winner here pretty easily. I think he had like 3 or 4 of these.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, whenever you see injury stuff, it's scary. But obviously, you got this in a little bit before that right here, Jordan Love. I mean, this was just really, I don't want to say easy, but it's just like it was very obvious in the sense of if this didn't happen for Jordan Love, it was going to be a really bad day, right? Like I was kind of betting on like what he does. Like he's a boom or bust guy. They depend on explosive plays, and the Jaguars can't stop them. They just can't stop explosive plays. So if they somehow were able to, it would have just been an awful day for the Packers. They would have got crushed. I did not envision that game script. The only way I saw this not hitting was pretty simple. It was Josh Jacobs taking over, the running game taking over, because I have no faith in Jacksonville. So glad Jordan Love got the job done right here. Obviously, only wish was my guy Christian Watson could have got a little bit more for me there.
Yeah, I know he got the first catch, and then I don't even remember him getting the ball again. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed in not being able to be the sweeper here. I lost by 1 yard, 1 Breece Hall yard. Breece Hall had 89 total yards, and Denver ended up obviously getting that first half W. But fuck, man. That's my second one in the last like 3 weeks. I lose by a yard, and it's just, it's annoying. But yeah, it happens, I guess. That's gambling, I guess. Fuck. Not much else I can say about that because the Jets lose again. I mean, what else do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm not sure who could have possibly predicted that game script. I need to watch that game back. I was obviously not watching Jets Patriots like the rest of the country. And I have no clue how this game turned out the way it did, like honestly, especially with May going down and still obviously ending up getting the win. Like the Jets, obviously, it's not in a good place. And please stop telling me to bet the Jets. Like every week, people tell me to bet the Jets. I don't know why. It's this weird fascination that we got to get rid of as soon as possible.
Yeah, I the one bet I wanted to take in that game was that race 2 number. And they did get to the 20 first, but it ended up, I looked at it and it was like minus 175 for it. And they did get there, but it was sweaty as fuck, bro. Like,
yeah.
There is nothing about this team that instills confidence in me outside of Breece Hall. And I thought he would get more touches than he did in that game and just kind of fell through. So what did not fall through was probably the easiest catch of the year. And the 2-unit banger here, I have no idea. I have no idea what these books were thinking, but they don't have that respect. They got to put respect on that boy's name. So Jameis Winston, baby, easy money.
I know. This was great. I mean, this was fun. I mean, this game was so fun. Like, I watched this whole game. I was just smiling the whole time. Like, it was classic Jameis. Like, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, we're going to win our bets. Like, you can already tell we're going to win our bets.
Oh,
like,
yeah. By the first quarter, he had like 80 yards. I'm like, holy fuck, bro. This dude is about to throw.
And he just hasn't changed. Like, he hasn't. I mean, he might have got some LASIK. Maybe he's gotten a little bit better since then. But like the play style, the mindset, the aggressiveness, it's still there. And they were, if they give us an interception prop next week better than -150, you got to slam it. It was like -225 this week or something. There were like 3 interceptions that were some of the easiest of the season that were dropped in this game. So classic Jameis being Jameis. One of them was in the end zone too, where he had like 20 seconds to throw, rolls out, obviously should have thrown the ball away. Nobody's open, and then just fires it at a defender with no even wide receiver next to it. So it was great. It was Jameis being Jameis. We obviously then got the highlight-worthy throws as well, including a game winner that sealed the deal. So it was awesome. Classic Jameis. I had Tillman as well. Felt really good to get that Tillman ladder cash going as well, as a little bit of an underrated guy. I hate Jerry Jeudy. I was never going to bet on that guy. So it felt good. It was awesome. It was good. Jameis Day is back. Hopefully we get a line next week. That's the only bummer is I'm literally sitting there at halftime going,
slow down, buddy. Slow down.
They're going to shoot this lineup like 20 yards. But hey.
And I'll still bet it, bro. I'll still bet it because I felt great because in the lineup I told you that I almost took that thing down. I had Jameis with a 2-man stack. I still 2-man stack Njoku. It faded Cade Otton, which was that pissed me off because Cade Otton went off. But so did Njoku. Njoku did very, very well, way less ownership. And Cedric Tillman. I had all 3 of them in my lineup, and they just pushed me up. Jameis was only like 10% owned, bro. I'm like, God damn, dude. Ended up posting. I told you, I know you're in my chat too. I sent out 3 guys to lead the day, and passing yards. Jameis was one of them. 18-1. So that was a nice little winner there. So I'll go pick up my money later today. So shout out Jameis, man. He literally was in everything I had because I just don't get it, bro. 220, 230. Like you could bought it down to like -150 at 220. I'm like, this boy will throw for 220 yards and a half. Like he ain't gonna run the ball, bro. And the best part is he just makes all of those Browns receivers fantasy relevant. No, they're all fantasy relevant. They all if you got rid of them, you're fucked. Because they're going to get picked up so fast. Because what I loved is when you look at Deshaun Watson, dude took so many sacks. Jameis sits there till the last possible second till you get open. He takes it in the teeth and puts a ball out there. Is it always the most accurate? No. But he's going to give you a shot. And like you could see Jerry Jeudy was even hyped throughout the game. Bro didn't get any catches over the last 3 weeks. I think he had like 2. He had 2 in the first drive. Like it was – Elijah Moore, 8 for 80. Shout out. Like, what the fuck? Coming out of nowhere. And obviously Tillman and Njoku all give you fantasy relevant games, bro. Like, that's what Jameis can do. That's what he can do.
I'm really hoping they sleep on Elijah Moore in lines next week because I like Tillman. I like all these guys, but Moore is that like short yardage, like low A-dot kind of easy check down guy that I feel like if they give us like 3.5 catches again, which I think they might, I mean, that's got to be a really good number next week because this team's just going to throw like 10 more times than they were before with a guy that, like you said, is giving his wide receivers a chance every single time. So I'm excited. The Jameis train has officially left the station. Let's keep it going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's take a look. We did lose our Rashad White and Richardson long shot, so that's -1 unit on there. But we do go positive with a nice 2-unit winner. First 2-unit collab. I don't even remember, bro. I don't even remember the last time we did a collab on the show. It's been a long time. But obviously feeling good about it today. Let's get talking about this slate here. So we got a 1-gamer. We have the Steelers. I believe they're at home today. Steelers are 6-point favorites. Steelers are 6-point favorites right now. Not something I expected to see. Today against the Giants, and I believe it is like a 36 and a half. over under, bro. Like that is low as fuck. That is so low. Let me just post up the numbers here. Oh yeah, I forgot. Dogs. Who did you take for your dog this week?
Who did I take for my dog? I think I took the Saints. That was my dog of the week, which obviously did not go well, even after the disgusting start to that game.
I think mine covered, didn't it? Did mine cover? Oh yeah, Raiders.
You texted me.
Raiders. Yeah, +7 or +9.5. Come by 7, bro. I'm like, God damn, dude. They are. I think that's 5 or 6 in a row for my dog picks, bro. So I'm hoping that continues. Didn't get my outright, but that was an ugly ass game.
It was. And dude, Mahomes had 2 passing touchdowns. He covered the base, but he didn't get any of the latter potential.
Well, because Kareem Hunt's getting 1-yarders every game.
I was gonna say, what do we need to see from Kareem Hunt? We're giving this guy 20 touches a game to run the ball 2 yards at a time. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's an ugly offense. But I would think at the red zone, you'd at least go away from that a little bit more. You'd let Mahomes chuck it. But it's okay. We got 2. I'm not going to be too greedy. It at least covered the long shots.
So if you had to take one of the 4 sides here, Stu, which one are you going to today?
Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one today. I mean, for me, like, some people in the 4 for 4, staff chat were talking about it earlier. My philosophy: anytime you see a game and one team is +300 for a defensive touchdown, you take the other team. So I got to take the Steelers. That's what I'll do here, because I can't take the Giants. I think this is much more likely that this is Daniel Jones' final game as a starter than it is some heroic comeback against one of the more aggressive defenses in the league. Jones has never been good in prime time. He's never been good under pressure. Well, congratulations. You're under pressure, you're in prime time, and you're going up against one of the best pass rushers in the league with the best pass rusher in the league. Like, I have no belief in you at all. You were benched last week. I mean, what are we supposed to do here? I don't know what I mean, I get just besides the number being too big for the Steelers to cover, it's Russell Wilson as quarterback. I mean, yeah, but I'm not betting the Giants tonight. It's one of those things where it's not going to happen. Like, I know it's going to be really hard to convince me. They lost their best left tackle as well, right? They don't even have a good offensive line, which they sneakily did a little bit earlier in the season. Like, they have a good pass rush, and that's it. You got nothing else. So, and the pass rush has kind of been hit or miss as well this year. So I don't know what to say. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in the Steelers much either. Obviously very inconsistent, but the Steelers have been surprisingly solid as a favorite this year in comparison to Tomlin's history. So give me the Steelers, but I'm not going to bet the spread in this game. That's disgusting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know, bro. Maybe it's just a team total under for the Giants. Like, I don't trust anything that they're doing here. I love Russ, bro. You guys know that. I'm a Badger guy. So I'm so happy to see him have success last week. And I think this is perfect. I think this is a perfect setup for him here, dude. He's kind of doing the same thing he did with the Seahawks, right? Great running game. Gonna probably throw the ball 25 times, but hyper efficient in those throws and give those big guys an opportunity, right? Freiermuth getting the stuff across the middle. We've seen Russ do very well with good tight ends, and obviously Pickens on the field. So I think I would take the Steelers here. I don't know. I can get 5.5 right now on FanDuel. Maybe that'll be the spot, but I'm seeing most books at 6. 5.5 on the Steelers on FanDuel is probably where I'd go. Maybe a teaser something with an under in that or something. But I'm just really happy for Russ and seeing him do well. So let's take a look here at the this is like the teaser that he was talking about. I'm assuming that's under 44.5. Because you should be getting like plus 500. You're betting 44.5 on the over. So not a bad look. Definitely what we were talking about there. Cody talking about telling my girlfriend how much we all love Jameis while watching Red Zone. Hey, dude, he even gives you viral clips, bro. Like the dude, even when he talks, it's like, how do you not like this guy? This guy is hilarious. Bobby Boucher, Jameis helped me win a Survivor League at work. Other guy that was left was dumb and picked against Jameis. Hey, bro, you don't do that. You don't do that, man. You're talking crazy, absolutely crazy. Good for you, Bobby. Hopefully you won something big there. Yes, Terrence, obviously a guy in my group there. We got that 18-1. Ugly game tonight. Let's get this money. Ugly game. Everybody likes these ugly games here. So ugly game equals profitable games. Before we get started, Sue, before we get into our best bets, what are your thoughts tonight on Theo Johnson? Is that a guy that you're looking at all? Our guy David popping in here bringing that up. That's a deep dive right there.
So I don't mind Theo Johnson as a player, to be completely honest, as like a receptions kind of target. But I think I'd rather go a receptions ladder here than I would a touchdown. Although once again, I wouldn't feel super confidently about either of them. To me, it's the total. The total kind of tells the story for you. I mean, I'm not super interested in looking for touchdown scores unless we're getting a really good number. So I actually don't know what Theo Johnson's number is, to be completely honest. If I would need like plus 800 or better, though, you know what I mean? I need like a really good number, or I'd rather just go someone else like a Daniel Bellinger, who would also be involved in 2 tight end sets, obviously much less involved as a pass catcher, but someone that has been around for a couple of years, knows the system, dependable, caught a couple of TDs. I bet you can get a way better, double or even triple the number on Daniel Bellinger. So that's just my thought process for games like this with such a low total. I need some good numbers to be able to bet a touchdown on you. Otherwise, I'm not super interested in, you have to trust the Giants offense for this to be possible, which I don't really do.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough when you're betting on 1 or 2 touchdowns, right? You got to hit 1 or 2 right, So that's why when it's betting the Lions, bro, you get like 8 touchdown options, because they're going to score at least 30. So it's like, damn, man, we got a lot of options when we have that many dudes. So, all right, so you ready to get it rolling?
Yeah, let's go. Ready to go. Oof, we got George Pickens, longest reception over 23.5, minus 114. This one's pretty simple right here. I mean, George Pickens has obviously been one of my favorite longest reception targets all year, really dating back to his debut in the league. If you've been watching, we've hit this a couple times on the show. But I think Russell Wilson is kind of like the perfect combination here. Like, it's really what we've been waiting for in terms of someone to unlock Pickens. Because before the season started, earlier in the season, obviously, there was some criticism. He wasn't scoring at all. He wasn't getting the right amount of targets needed. And even though they were winning games, obviously Pickens wasn't super involved. And that got some criticism from people. Oh, you need attention, ball hog, blah, blah, blah. Wide receivers get that when they ask for the ball and it becomes, popular in the media. But hey, I don't know. I don't hate that stuff at all. Whenever I see that, I'm more inclined to bet on a player. I mean, to be completely honest, the same thing I learned watching Russell Westbrook in the NBA. If you're calling for the foul every time you drive, they're going to be looking for it more. Like, if you're screaming at him all the time, those guys get more calls. Luka Doncic, he gets more calls because he's yelling at the ref 24/7. Maybe not how the world should work, but it's how it does work, right? If you want something, you got to ask for it. So obviously now we've seen Pickens now play season high in snaps in back-to-back weeks. He's getting the role he more asked for after that dip we had a couple weeks ago where people asked Arthur Smith, oh, we hate Arthur Smith, blah, blah, blah. Arthur Smith isn't the best offensive coordinator in the world. I think his problem is he's got this weird thing where he wants to be smarter than everyone else. Like, if you ever watched his interviews or anything like that, it's kind of obvious. He has good pieces. He has some good philosophy. But at the end of the day, the guy is a little bit too, cute for his own good, right? He does a lot of stuff that's a little too fancy when it's not necessary. But I think them getting back to basics a little bit more, going back to more of a standard offense. You're not with Justin Fields. You're not necessarily running that mobile quarterback. Now you got a guy like Russ who can command an offense in a very calm way. He can not turn the ball over. He can be very efficient. And what I like about it is you kind of touched on it when you said it earlier. We know exactly what he's going to do. It's going to be run, deep shot, right? We're going to see 4 to 5 deep shots a game. That's what he does. Beyond that, it's not going to be exciting at all. It's going to be short passing. It's going to be running. But that whole thing is just opening up those 1 or 2 targets. And even last year when he was getting hated on more than any other quarterback in the league, he was still a guy that I was consistently looking at for these longest completion props, right? Because he's a guy that is going to chuck it down the field. That's always been part of the game plan. He has a very pretty deep ball. He can throw the ball nice down the field. It's not going to always be consistent. But just to look at, it is
very nice. It is a very nice deep ball, bro.
And I mean, talk about a better option. Like, normally for me, the longest completion market, if you didn't notice, I played it with Jordan Love. 37.5 yards is hard to get to. A 40-yard pass is fucking hard in the NFL these days, especially with all the cover two. The reason I felt comfortable going to that is because you got Christian Watson, you got Romeo Doubs, you got Jaden Reed, you got Wicks, the 4th wide receiver, Melton. All these guys can make so many plays downfield that I didn't feel comfortable pinpointing it to one guy. You look at the Steelers wide receiver room, who else is the option here? Who are we looking at? Honestly, who are we going beyond George Pickens here? Is it going to be Calvin Austin III? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. This is a disgusting wide receiver. It is George Pickens. And now, okay, you get one of the best contested catch wide receiver guys in the league to be the recipient of these deep balls. So I do like Russell Wilson, looking at the longest completion. I think that's, a look that's always going to make sense. But I think the vast majority of these deep balls are clearly going to be going to one of the best deep ball catchers in the league. So this was easy for me. It's 23.5 on FanDuel right now. It's 24.5 on DraftKings and the rest of the market. It'll probably be closing 24.5 everywhere. I'd be comfortable playing it there as well. As long as they keep this under like 25.5, we should be pretty good to go, because this is an ugly game. I don't want to bet on volume. I don't know how much they're even going to need to throw the ball. But honestly, wide receiver ones against the Giants have been awesome all year long, because they got this slot corner in the draft that's been really good in the slot. But it's Banks on the outside for Maryland, and he sucked. And he shadows guys, which is like the ultimate combination, because you got a guy that's bad following around the wide receiver one now. So I love that matchup with wide receiver ones against the Giants. I like his yards. I'm just worried about volume. It's not going to be too many passes. It's going to be a lot of running, but I do think those passes are going to be deep passes. I think that's exactly where Pickens takes advantage tonight.
Sorry, my dog just came underneath my thing. I don't know how he made it under here, but he's up here. I have to make sure I say this, because you said you gave me all of those people.
And I did. Yeah, I know. Yep.
And the guy who cashed it was Tucker fucking Kraft, baby. Yep. Tucker Kraft, baby. So I have a lot of Tucker Kraft, and obviously Musgrave in best ball. So I was happy to see that. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. So you just named off all these good receivers. And then it's like, oh, it's our tight end who's slow as shit and couldn't score the touchdown, but it's all right. Still got the 70-yard gain. So, yeah, obviously we're looking for Russ to throw that thing out there. And I'm going to be kind of on that other side there, but still thinking it's going to be the same thing. I think we both think this way. FanDuel is going to be giving us the best line at -107. We're going Najee 50 rushing yards with Dodgers, over 6.5. We'll start with Dodgers. Obviously coming off of a huge win, Freddie Freeman walk-off granny. Like, what more could you ask for with 2 outs? Right? I mean, like that's what you grow up with as a kid, man. You sit there and you have all this momentum. But now you're bringing out Walker Buehler. Does not instill confidence in me. It's probably not going to be the warmest weather out there either. But you're going to Yankee Stadium, bro. Like, one of the few stadiums that are actually better hitting conditions than Dodger Stadium, right? So this is going to be should be pretty good. Obviously, Buehler did wake up a little bit, get some swings and misses in his last start. Clark Schmidt doesn't instill a ton of confidence in me either. But we've seen these bullpens get taxed already, bro. And they're going to use a lot of them tonight. But 6.5 seems a little low. I think both teams do score 3. So if we get both teams to score 3, we're there, right? So I think that's a good buy down option. But I also want Najee, because Najee's going to go off today, bro. Like, I love that when you look at these numbers. Again, we say this all the time. You got to look at who they're playing, bro. You can't just use like, oh, the Giants are blah, 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 this. But first off, yards per attempt, Giants 5.4. That is last in the NFL, right? So there's that. Then you go down their list of who they've played, right? Stu's favorite guy in the world, Jerome Ford, was one of the top running backs for him, 30 yards, right? So you go there. The Cowboys don't even have a real number one. Rico Dowdle before Rico Dowdle actually started playing a lot, he had 11 carries for 40 yards in there, so obviously not going to get there. You just saw Saquon put up almost 200 on him when they want to run the ball. You saw the Vikings want to run the football. Aaron Jones for 94. Washington wants to run the football. Brian Robinson for 133. If you want to run the ball, you can. It's so easy to do everything else on this team. You see these teams like the Seahawks. Geno Smith went for 300 and ran for 70 yards, right? You can do whatever you want, but if you're a team like the Steelers who want to run the football, you can do that. And I think Najee's just going to absolutely unload on these dudes. I love to see him actually getting some big runs. We've been making fun of him for a while on these non-explosive carries for the last year or so. Back-to-back weeks with a 34-yard plus carry. It's nice to see that explosion come back out of him, especially against that Jets defense, right? Clearing 100 yards against that Jets defense is pretty impressive. And obviously he cleared 100 against Vegas, but only on 14 carries. So I do like the explosive runs here. I do think that this offensive line is going to be like, this is the best game of the year. We just got to probably pass the ball 20 times. But you get into that run blocking formation, just pushing these dudes down and just kind of demoralizing teams. And I think that's kind of what this is going to be with that Arthur Smith offensive coordinator spot. So I really like Najee. If you're going to go off his averages, he only needs 10 carries with how bad the Giants have been. And with Arthur Smith at the helm, if he doesn't get 10 carries, I would be absolutely baffled, seeing as he has not gone under 13 carries this year. And in that one, they ended up losing. So he went for 13 for 19 yards in that one game. And then every other game that he's been kind of cooking in wins this year, 17, 20, 14, and 21. And again, that 14 carry was 110 yards. So those are what happens when you win. When you win, they can kind of instill their will on you. So I like Najee tonight, and I think we see 3 runs from each team in that Dodgers game. So we're getting to that 7. So like the spot quite a bit. Muted there.
Good looks. Sorry, a little disoriented today. But no, I'm with it. Definitely like Najee. I honestly think you're kind of talking me into Najee right now. I'm kind of curious what like Najee 50 rushing Steelers money line looks like. I feel like that's probably a pretty solid, slightly correlated play because, like you said, in wins, obviously he's going to dominate the carries. And I already kind of laid out the case why I think they're going to win this game pretty clearly. So I like Najee a lot, and it was even a big part of my analysis. This is still a run-first team. They're always going to be a run-first team. They were definitely a run-first team with Fields, but even that's still the plan. Even without Russell Wilson's rushing, it's just he adds that extra element of being able to give you that deep ball and even being able to give you that kind of easy check down as well. Another small detail I noticed: a lot of Darnell Washington last week, the huge blocking tight end. He's an extra offensive lineman. When people were evaluating him from the draft, I was actually a big fan. I thought he should have maybe went a little bit earlier. People were essentially looking at him as like right now he's more O lineman than he is tight end, and you kind of got to teach him how to catch a little bit. And over these last couple of years, I believe it's his second year in the league now. He looks better. He knows he's most involved in the passing game ever, but he is a beast as a blocker, which is a huge advantage for Najee Harris because normally having a guy like that in the game, okay, this is a guy that's going to be blocking only. This is going to be a run play. Well, 4 play action catches last week. Now you got to respect it a little bit more. So once again, solid play calling there. Got to give him a little bit of credit for our guy Arthur Smith. But I like Najee rushing in this game a lot. I don't see too many negative arguments against it. Even if the Giants' rush defense could hold up, I think the volume will still be good enough to get him over.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you could say is Jaylen Warren, but even him, he has not looked as explosive coming off the injury at all.
I bet on him too.
Yeah, it's just been tough. And I mean, they're even leaving Najee in for some of these pass catching plays, bro. Like the targets there have been kind of outside of last week when you run the ball, 21 times. You probably don't want to throw him out there too much in the passing game. But other than that, he's been getting quite a few targets throughout these games. So obviously happy to see that. Let's take we have one question here, and then we will get it going for you guys. Thoughts on Wan'Dale? Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge Wan'Dale guy. Stu's a Wan'Dale guy. He's a fan of the show. I'll let you take this, Stu, because I know you were talking to me about it, trying to gauge my opinion on that one.
Yeah, because I kind of thought you'd be into it. I knew you were possibly looking at, a combo parlay kind of thing. And I feel like Wan'Dale receptions is so perfect for that. Obviously, we saw last week pretty much split target share with Neighbors back in the lineup, one of the most targeted wide receivers in the league. And additionally, what you want to look at with receptions is generally how easy are these targets to be caught, right? Let's look at their ADOT. Where are they traditionally catching their passes? A guy like George Pickens, a terrible receptions target because he's going down the field so much. He's catching some of the toughest balls to catch in the league and doing it at a high level. Wan'Dale Robinson, the complete opposite. High percentage passes, short, sub 10 yards. That's a vast majority of his work, and I expect them to need that. When you have a good pass rush, you need to check the ball down. And I normally go to the running back, which the running back room is a little 50-50 with Tracy and Singletary. I might end up playing some Tracy today for his receiving. I think that could be a good look as well. But I like Wan'Dale. My biggest problem is the lines, one, have kind of caught up to Wan'Dale. They're not like cheap anymore. He's like 5.5 catches or something like that. And 2, when you got a guy like him and then you got a guy like Neighbors, okay, even if they are splitting target share, even if, we can call it a more of a 50-50 1A, 1B room, Malik Neighbors is significantly better than Wan'Dale Robinson, like significantly. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I like Wan'Dale. It's sticking out to me. But they're going to have to pass. I think they're going to be losing. They're going to have to pass. If I had to pick one, I still think I probably got to go Neighbors. He's just immensely talented. I have much more trust in Malik Neighbors. So I don't know. I think it's hard to go wrong either way, but I think receptions for Wan'Dale is always a good look, especially if you're doing a little parlay. You want to buy it down a little bit, combine that with something else. He should be able to give you a pretty safe floor of 4 to 5 catches.
Yeah, no, it's tough to go up, especially when you don't know. You were talking about it too. Like, does Daniel Jones make it through this game? Like, if he doesn't make it through, like, do you trust Lock or right? That's Lock behind him. So
yeah, which is disgusting as well. But yeah, we didn't even really talk about it. But Jones could definitely be benched in this game. Like we just saw, like it wouldn't be a surprise at all. And I mean, that's Wandell's lifeline. I mean, he is feeding that guy. Daniel Jones is like the number one like check down like machine in the league over these last couple of years. So without him, who knows what Drew Lock does? He's probably getting fired up listening to some rap music on the sideline. He's filming some TikToks, getting ready to go. He's probably going out to throw 40-yard bombs. You know, he's getting fired up. So I'd honestly rather them just start Drew Lock. Why not? Let's mix it up. Who wants to see more Daniel Jones? I think the world is collectively done with that. So let's give him a shot. Why not?
I think today is kind of the day you kind of have to start Jones because why would you go put Lock out there when he's probably getting sacked 9 times?
Yeah.
So like let him let Jones take the beating and run around because if Drew Lock, I know it's bold to say, but I would say probably at like athletic speed wise, I would probably still take Daniel Jones because he's actually been pretty good of scrambling. And he's gonna have to run for his fucking life on half of these, dude. Is it Thomas still out? The tackle?
Yeah.
That's fucking huge, bro. No one talks about that shit. That shit's huge. Like that dude's like an all pro, bro. So you take that guy out against this type of defense, bro. That's a game changer.
No, 100%. I mean, he got season-ending surgery. He's done. That was like the one good piece they had. Their line was sneaky, and you take that away, it's rough. And now you get TJ Watt. It's not going to be a fun day for Danny Dimes. It's really not. I mean, I almost feel bad for the guy, but that is a good point. If they put in Drew Lock, it's not like he's going to succeed anymore against this defense. So,
I'm curious before we get into recapping. What's the long shot? What's the sack line for TJ Watt today? Like 2, 1.5?
Yeah, I can check real quick.
I'm curious. I'll start the recap. I'll start myself off here, and then I'll let you take it there. I'm gonna be rolling with Najee Harris, 50 rushing yards. Dodgers over 6.5 on FanDuel at -107. I think it just moved to -110 right now. Still playable there. Probably play it up to -120.
Sounds good. And I honestly might tell you and just roll with that, and maybe even the Steelers money line too. Add another little leg right there because I think it correlates and I think it's happening. I'm going George Pickens, longest reception over 23.5, -114 over on FanDuel. It's 24. The rest of the market, I would still play at 24 comfortably.
Beautiful. All right, Stu. What did it say about TJ Watt? What did it say?
Well, according to my prop finder, there's only a couple books that have it. Bet Rivers has 1 sack at -295.
290?
Hard Rock has -195. Those are the two I see right now. So
wow, Rivers, man, Christ. Is it like half a sack or like actually one full sack?
It looks like, actually half sack. Okay.
Okay. Woo,
okay, that's
shit.
fair.
Okay, that scared the fuck out of me, bro. I'm like, damn, we ain't touching that shit, bro. Fuck.
But honestly, his tackles and assists could be kind of good at like 3.5. I mean, if you think he's going to get a sack, maybe stuffs a run or two in there. I mean, the guy's everywhere. So the only problem is you don't get credit for a pick six or like a strip fumble recovery touchdown because he does that so consistently. But, you know, definitely like TJ Watt, but maybe we need a boost. We probably need like FanDuel to give us like the Watt boost for like even money for a sack or something. That's probably our only hope.
Beautiful. Last question here. Thoughts on Dexter Lawrence at over half a sack at plus money? I think the only reason I don't like it is just because there's just not a ton of volume. Like, I don't think they're going to be trailing. I don't think there's going to be that many situations where passing is coming. It's probably limited to that first quarter. You know, like, I don't know. They just don't pass the ball enough. The games I like where sacks are at is like the team that's like a 5-point dog and it's like a huge total. I know they're going to throw the ball 35 times, probably going to be pressured to do it. And then they get a lot of 2-minute drills where you can't really get out of there, right? Those are the types of games I kind of like to take the sacks. Obviously, this one I could see them maybe even less than 20 times in this game. But Russ's big play upside, I mean, he's going to take those 5-step drops, a lot of play action. So maybe those are the times I usually only take the sack numbers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I like Dex at plus money. It's hard to go wrong. One of the best interior defensive linemen in the league, arguably should be in conversation for defensive player of the year. Not going to win it when your whole defense sucks, but the guy just destroys in the middle. Like, he destroys. So got to give him credit. I don't ever, hate going against a guy that good, but it's just kind of like you said, you nailed it. It's volume, it's dropbacks. You need these opportunities, and I just have a hard time seeing them be there. So I don't mind it at plus money, but it's not something I'm like actively looking out for, just given the game script in general.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so anything else from you? I don't have a long shot in this game. If you do, you'll be taking it away here. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I got fired up earlier talking about backup tight ends, and you know me. I mean, I'm a sucker for these backup tight ends, so I'm gonna have to find some numbers. I just looked it up on Pickett. We can get, I guess someone asked about Theo Johnson earlier if people weren't tuning in. Daniel Bellinger, the backup tight end, is between 25 and 30 to 1 for a touchdown on some of these books. So I think the move, don't play any real money on this, but I'm going to be tossing like $5 on Daniel Bellinger touchdown, and then $5 more on Darnell Washington touchdown at 13 to 1 on the other side. Both of those guys are backup tight ends. Neither of them are
like 1,300 for Daniel Bellinger. Or what was Daniel Bellinger? I got Darnell Washington at 1,300. What's Daniel Bellinger?
25 to 1 looks like the number I'll be able to bet here. There is a 30 on Hard Rock if you have Hard Rock, but I don't have.
All right, we'll just put 0.25 for both because you're doing it for both of us.
We should do I'm not going to bet 0.25 on this.
0.2? What do you want? 0.1?
0.05. Like, I mean, this is like, this game sucks, and I want some entertainment. So I'm trying to make that clear. Like, I'm just
put total 0.1. Total 0.1 you.
There we go. Because I don't want people irresponsibly spending money or anything, but I generally think there's going to be limited tight end chances. These guys are both going to be out there in blocking capacities. I think there's going to be some opportunity. Why not go crazy in a game that is going to suck probably? Like, I don't know what else like there even is, but I love these fucking backup tight ends. I can't resist it. It's like, it's the go-to. They're out there. They have the red zone snaps. It's just, can we get a weird play call? I've seen it with Daniel Bellinger before. I know he's the like 25 to 1 guy. He scored touchdowns for me in the past at these crazy numbers. So Darnell Washington, a little bit more of a newcomer, but like I said, great blocker. He's going to be involved out there. And 4 catches last week. I mean, that I to be honest, if you gave me an over-under, if he'd ever have 5 catches, 4 catches in a game, I might have taken the under. And I liked him as a prospect, but it's just, he's so stiff. I didn't know if he could actually be a route runner, if he could do anything more than block, but he is, and he's out there. And they clearly used him immediately in week 1 when Russ was out there. So that's at least somewhat telling to me. I'm willing to risk it a little bit, spend a couple bucks. Who needs Pat Freiermuth at like 2 plus 230, right? I mean, what's that going to do for me tonight? Nothing. So give me some Darnell Washington. Let's go. Let's get crazy.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're good. There's still 60 of you guys in here with us. We appreciate it. If you could hit that like button, we appreciate it as well. Anything else to do before we head out today? We got a good show, quicker show, but ready to get rolling here.
Yeah, I mean, great day. A lot of sports going on. I will say another winning week for me in terms of the article plays. I did lose Jordan Mason last night, which was a killer. The backup comes in immediately, gets 2 carries that would have cashed my ticket, obviously. So that kind of hurt, but still 7-3 on the week. Another winning week for me. If you do want all of my plays, I write a 4-for-4 article. It's paywalled. You can get access to that $10 first month with code Monotone. Just with these show plays alone, no way I haven't made you guys $10 over the course of the season. That would be almost physically impossible if you've watched the show and bet more than like 3 times this season to not be up more than $10. So I'd appreciate it if you toss that $10 my way. You don't just get my picks, you get NBA, NFL, UFC, which I can't bet UFC. You never want to see my picks. So you want to go to the experts. People keep asking me. I got to ban myself from ever talking about that. It's not a good idea. So got some good picks. I'm rambling now, fired up. But yeah, I'm feeling very good. We've been killing these show picks recently. Appreciate all you guys that are tuning in. And hey, we'll be back on Wednesday. We're not going away. We got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every single week, 1 p.m. EST.
Yeah, I think I know I've gotten a couple messages about it. We probably will start NBA in a little bit, but not, these first weeks or so. You kind of got to figure out minutes. You got to figure out numbers, right? If you're betting long shots, it's probably the only thing you want to do right now, right? Because you just don't know what the numbers are at, because lines are going to be soft because they don't know yet either. So I know I've been getting questions for doing NBA on those. So just a heads up on that. Yeah, 33-21, 18.2 units heading into tonight. Sweep it. We get to 20. We'd be crossing that 20 unit mark for the first time. Obviously, really excited where we're at. I don't know any other show doing this for free, making this much money for you guys. So hopefully you guys are hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. So we'll be back on Wednesday, maybe NBA, maybe some NFL. Should be a good NFL game, even though I'm seeing the Jets are a favorite against the Texans on Thursday. Should be interesting. Excited to break it down on Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in, and catch you Wednesday.